Welcome to Above the Mark, where we take you from the soil to the office and everywhere in between.
We're your hosts, Jack and Troy, bringing you real conversations on farm leadership, rural life, and the big issues shaping modern agriculture.
Whether you're knee-deep in the field or just ag curious, there's something here for you.
So let's dig in and aim a little higher.
Well, welcome back to another episode of Above the Mark. I'm Troy. This is Jackie. I just tapped my hand on the thing already, and Allie's giving me weird look. So,
This echo noise.
I know, and I think when we have someone sitting in between us, we probably are on better behavior than what we are, just the two of us. So we'll see how this goes, I guess. But we haven't done a solo pod in a little bit.
6 months.
6 months. Have we been doing this that long?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's how much you love doing it.
Yeah, it feels like 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
So we started doing it. What was happening in farming at the time that we started it? Was it we were planting?
Yeah, we were planting and
yeah,
thinking about wheat harvest and fairs and
that's right.
Yeah.
And look where we are.
I know. Now we're ready for the holidays.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Everybody keeps talking about this holiday called Thanksgiving. I'm not really familiar with it. We go straight to Christmas in my house.
It's unacceptable.
Well,
completely unacceptable.
I believe in the magic of Christmas, Jackie.
Do you?
No, it's crazy how far this has all happened, or how fast everything's went, and it was definitely kind of an odd fall, I think.
In my brain, it was Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
I mean, it hit us. Beans were here early, and it just was, just one day after another.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess on that note, with beans, we could start with beans. We could talk about soybeans. It was pretty dry this year in a lot of spots.
It was so dry. It was so crazy to me because, typically at bean harvest, you got, okay, well, we're going to have to wait a couple days, get it below 15. I mean, we started seeing beans coming in at 10, 11%. And in the first
right at the start. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just unreal. So we know in our area, yields were down. We know that.
Yep.
But overall, I think every grower that I spoke to was better than they anticipated, given that we had no rains all summer.
Yeah. Same way with corn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There obviously was some pockets, right?
Yes.
Quality-wise, we had a few spots that maybe weren't the greatest, but very, very limited spots, right?
Oh, yeah. I think for our territory, we were extremely blessed, given that, I mean, again, no rains. In the corn yields were way better than we thought they were going to be. Did we have a bin buster year? No, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been kind of a rush. I think the first or second week of October, maybe. I want to say first week of October. We got really busy on the agronomy side as far as spreading fertilizer. And usually we have a mad rush of stuff, a little bit later than that. So,
yeah.
And it, like you said, it kind of stayed that way for a while. And then it just stopped.
Yes.
Like instantly.
Right.
And then you find yourself in November. And
yes.
So, yeah, it's kind of a crazy year. And I think, topic everybody's talking about, the government shutdown, and that kind of made it a weird thing too, because there's a lot of things that are in the unknown with that. So we're on the other side of that, coming out of that in some ways. So
yeah, so finally, right after however many days, 43, 44 days, they didn't show up for work. But that delays our USDA reports.
Yeah.
So we did, we got caught up, and now we still won't see all of the flash export sales. That won't be all caught up for another month yet, but they'll slowly get out of there. And I think that what we also saw after that first WASD report from the government shutdown was trade had already factored this in. I mean, trade had built in. We knew, hey, there had been a little bit of sales. We knew on the soybean side of things, the yield was going to get most likely reduced, which it did by about a half a bushel. So USDA has us pegged at 53. They brought corn down to 186, which is still the largest crop on record. So, I mean, we had a nice run up in the futures market for several weeks. This is where we encourage guys, hey, take advantage of it. I personally, I tell every grower that I speak to, anytime you see double-digit rallies, you need to reward that market. Don't miss opportunities. And I think going into the rest of this year, that's it's going to be about minimizing your losses. So when we see those double digit rallies, you take advantage of it, get some stuff marketed. Obviously, in our territory, with the yields being down, being an end user market, basis levels will be strong throughout the year. So lock in your futures and set your basis later.
Yeah. So you said take advantage of those rallies, I guess. And I know this is probably like specific to growers and what you feel or Virginia feels or whoever it is, but when you're telling guys to look at that now and take advantage of that, I mean, what percentages are you telling them, or what? I mean, is there a percentage that you're like, hey, I would look at selling this much, or is it just based off of their specific operation, or how you guys do that?
Well, we always, whenever we're doing our marketing plans, we tailor that to that grower, right? And so there's a lot of questions that go into it. When do you want your bins emptied? What do you have to deliver at harvest? When are you going to need cash flow?
Yeah.
Those are the different things that we're looking at. But also, we're already talking about next year and marketing bushels for next year. I mean, are you 20% sold next year? I mean, the market's telling you right now you should be planting beans. So how many additional beans are going to get planted next year? What does that do to the market?
Yep.
So take advantage of that. And right now, I mean, for soybeans, we're $1 ahead for next year than where we were this year. And so I remind guys, hey, if I would have told you back in June that you couldn't get $11 beans at harvest, you'd have been like, yeah, absolutely, sign me up. Well, I'm telling you, you can get $11 beans next year.
Yeah, and another thing that's going to affect that too, at least locally, for starters, wheat acres are down.
Yes.
Going into fall, and there's a lot of wheat out that either isn't up yet or doesn't look very good. And so I don't know what's going to happen with that. And I don't know if you've had any of those conversations, but I've had some of those conversations where it's like, hey, actually get us some extra corn or beans, or get us some extra this, or I'm not really sure what's going to happen yet.
Yeah.
Because it does look that rough. Now, we're recording this today. It's 60 degrees outside. It's supposed to be 65 tomorrow. So it could be totally different by Monday. I mean, there could be a lot of stuff up by then that isn't up.
Right.
But the way it sits right now, there's a lot of wheat that's out there that is not up yet.
That is true.
And so I'm curious to see what happens with that. But those already being down on acres quite a bit.
Yes.
As far as wheat.
Yeah. And when you look at the wheat market, I mean, it's not friendly,
So it's a little bit more enticing to maybe just decide not to use that crop.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, a huge part of our territory is livestock. They've got to have the wheat acres. I mean, we know that. But for the rest of the guys, I think it'll help make that decision for them.
Yeah, I would not argue with that. But I know some guys are really, really adamant on keeping their rotation, and there's value to that.
I agree.
So, since I don't know, I've seen springs before where you're going into the fall that, or into winter, that there's no way we keep this wheat. And then springtime, it's like the snow melts. And it's like, oh, look at that really nice wheat.
Yeah, that's beautiful, right? What happened?
It's hard to know what's going to go on with that. So I guess any other insights that you have from the grain side?
I mean, I think, again, we all know this is a tough year in ag, right? Every single one of us know that. These are conversations that we have daily. And I think it's truly this year, it's about minimizing your losses. Make sure you know your cost of production. Make sure that you're marketing grain when you're buying your inputs. That is a huge benefit for you. I mean, we have those conversations all the time, right? Yeah. When we go out and do our UCAs and we're talking to growers.
Yep.
So just continue to have that conversation. Look out there ahead. Make sure you're marketing for next year.
Yep.
Don't miss those opportunities.
Yeah. And I think that's a good spot too to bring in. We just came out with our program for the Landmark Max for this year. Right?
Yes.
You got your landmark. You did that on purpose.
I absolutely did. I'm glad you noticed that.
I almost wore mine. I'm glad I didn't. That would have been awkward. But, one thing that I've been telling you guys, we've had a lot of conversations around the program this year, and they're curious because we need all the help we can get this year to kind of make sure we're maximizing every dollar. And one thing that I really appreciate about this program is that it's our program, and we're able to work with our customers and tailor it to what they need. In a certain range, but it's just a really nice program to help farmers get the most out of their money, right?
Yeah.
Spending money, you're getting rewarded. It's just a great program. And so what I'm getting at is, as you're doing these plans with your grain advisor or with your agronomy CPA, make sure to bring that up and ask about, where do I got on points from last year? and what level am I at? Am I elite, platinum, whatever it is? Because those points that we're getting from that, plus the financing options and everything else that goes along with it, can really make a difference.
Absolutely. It's huge value. I mean, and you and I together, right? We've done a lot of these farm visits here in the last month and a half, talking to these guys about this new program and what it looks like. And hey, like you said, how do I go from platinum to elite? Well,
Yep.
it's just a little bit more business here. Market your grain through us. That helps you out. Just those little conversations. So yeah, it's super important, I think, for um, if their advisor's not bringing it to them and explaining it, ask the questions.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely want to stay in the loop. And they should be getting text messages every so often about how many points they have and re-earning their tiers. And I feel like we've done a good job at marketing about it. So
Yeah.
if they're in any sort of social media platform, Connect, whatever it is with us, they've seen it multiple times. Yeah, I think it's a good program to look at for this year. So I think we'll continue to put stuff out about it, keep talking about it. But that question definitely needs to become, how do I utilize this for every acre and
Yes.
to best get. And we had Stephen on here before, and I think one thing he had mentioned was the best way to utilize the program is to get to elite as fast as possible.
Absolutely.
And I think that's true. So if you have questions on that, reach out to one of us, and we'd be happy to walk through that, obviously.
Right. Or also, I mean, you can always go backwards on our podcast and listen to that, because I think Stephen did a fantastic job of, talking about this program and why it exists and how it benefits the growers. I mean, I think that was a really good one.
Yeah. We're in a full-time fertilizer. A lot of fertilizer went on this fall. I think we're kind of on the downward slope of that. I think some of that is going to depend on how the weather carries out too. Guys are getting their yields in. They're kind of figuring out where they ended up, and maybe we might have another flush of fertilizer coming. I don't know. Maybe at the end of the month. I'm not sure yet. It depends on the weather. Yeah, fertilizer markets are still kind of tricky right now, I think. UAN has been pretty flat. There's a lot of variables in the market right now that are holding that price where it's at. And hydrous has been kind of a wishy-washy back and forth, and everything we've kind of heard and seen. We still think that could potentially be some sort of break in that, after the first of the year.
Okay.
So we're monitoring that. Yeah, I think we got a pretty good handle on things, how things are going.
And you this is your prepay season, right? This is what we're going into. I mean, guys are getting ready to make a lot of these decisions.
Yeah. So on fertilizer, hopefully at some point, in the next little while, we'll have some sort of fill program that we can start to talk about. Still a little early for that right now. But as far as other things go, your CPP, foliars, fungicides, that kind of thing, we're just starting to get that stuff put together and working on it. Surprisingly, I don't know surprisingly, but we've had a lot of people asking this year already, hey, where are we at on this and getting forward? I think some of it has to do with the Landmark Max program coming out and just points, a lot of talk around that right now. But with it being a tougher year, I think guys are, and I could be wrong, but from what I can tell, people want to utilize as much discounts as they can.
Absolutely.
Which is obviously something we would suggest.
Right.
So they want to get ahead of it, want to make sure they capitalize on everything. Same way with seed. Right now, this is the earlier the better on seed. So we're working through that. Our guys have been working pretty hard to get those orders in. So
good. And then, so, taking advantage of every discount, but also thinking about the maximization of every dollar, right? So when they're doing their prepay, when they're talking to their agronomy guy, remember again what I said, like, hey, make sure that you're marketing bushels to cover your inputs.
Yeah.
But we also have accumulator style contracts. We talk about these with our growers every single day. But they have values that are above the current market price, right? So great. We're in soybeans, we're 50, 60 cents ahead of the market. So it's going to take you less bushels to cover the cost of that input.
Yep.
So make sure that we're having those conversations.
Yeah. And, we had a podcast, I think, before about, some of our UCA calls and the culture that we have here. That's a good point. So right now, I think there's a lot of, we see the notes coming in. There's a lot of grain marketing advisors going out with CPAs and making those on-farm calls. That's pretty awesome right now, because I think those conversations have to be happening. If you have somebody that's coming out, whether it's a grain marketing advisor or a CPA, and they're not bringing the other one, and you want the other one there, make sure you ask for that, because we want to bring them out, right?
Yes.
We got to be able to have that whole conversation.
The holistic approach, right?
Yeah,
Look at it together.
yeah, and it's something unique that we do, I think, and it's definitely beneficial.
And depending which team members you're bringing out, it might be entertaining as well.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. If you got Jackie and I, we're sorry. That's no, but seriously though, I mean, think about it. We understand that it's a tough time. It's never really easy, But one thing we said before on one of our other episodes, I think, and I tell guys all the time, we think that the grower is so important that we don't think that you should have one person taking care of you, right? We need to have a team around you at all times. And if that means that I'm not your go-to for every single situation, I'm completely fine with that, because I know that they're in good hands with Jackie or Virginia or Dan or whoever we were working with, and so utilize that whole team. Now, maybe you have one contact person, and the contact reaches out to the other people. That's fine too. But right now, we need to make sure that we're talking about all these pieces together.
Yes.
Because when you put the pieces of the puzzle together, it's a totally different picture than before, right?
Right.
Yeah. So.
And I will also say, so like, one of the things, I mean, year after year that we hear from farmers, one of the things that they dislike most about farming is grain marketing, right? I mean, there's a lot of stress to that. There's so much attachment to that crop, right? You work so hard for that. So in the past, we've done some grain marketing classes, and we're going to continue that. And I'm super excited to see this next group of classes get rolled out, because I've challenged the grain team to do things a little differently, and they're adding some new things to it. They're really focusing on truly developing a marketing plan using different strategies to show you how to maximize your profit per acre. So I am excited. Those will be coming out. We'll see some promotions for those before long.
Do you know when the first meeting is? It January?
They're going to start them in January, and I think go through January, March, maybe April, and we'll be doing some in each of our territories, right? Because we have a pretty large territory, so we'll have Virginia and Lauren in the middle and up north, and then we'll have Destiny and Rachel in the south.
Yep, and I think at least one of those we're bringing some agronomy guys in too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
And I think you guys will be having your big wheat meetings coming.
Yeah, the wheat meeting will be in March. I believe that we're going to have in February, hopefully, we're going to have Jacob Lewis and Michael Watercutter maybe come on the podcast and talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
Michael with the Wheat Sustain program and what that's looking like, because I think we'll be rolling that out here shortly. Fort Wayne Farm Show is on January 13th through the 15th. Our team will be there. Obviously, we do some giveaways, but we'll have information about the wheat meeting as well as Landmark Max stuff. We're going to make sure we have the new programs out there. Yeah, I mean, we should do like a podcast autograph signing or something. You think people line up for that?
We should definitely do that.
I don't think anybody would come. But
there'll be lots of people there that day. You don't know.
Yeah, fake it to me. Yeah. Then the very next day after the farm show, the 16th, in Fulton County, there's a big OSU extension event. They call it Conus Living Day. It's at Founders Hall in Archwood. Virginia and I are going to that. We'll be there that day, so we'll have a booth set up. Come on over and say hi. We'd love to talk to the guys on what we can do. Yeah. We'll have information on all our business units out, but it'll just be Virginia and I believe, at that one. So, we got a lot of fun stuff coming up. This is like the time of year where we get to do that kind of stuff and get out and see people in a different capacity than what we normally do, I think. Yeah,
I think so. And I think, and it's a great way to end the calendar year, right? Everybody wrapping up harvest. You've been crazy busy. Yeah. We've all been crazy busy as well. Now taking that time to go out face to face, see the growers, sit down with them, have that conversation, focus on next year. Yeah.
So what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
So Thanksgiving, I don't have kids at home. They're all grown. They're all gone. So
you want some?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Nope. So I mean, these are pretty low key. I mean, I'm sure we'll probably go to Columbus and see our son Owen and his girlfriend. Yeah. I think they're going to do something, but no big plans. What about you? We
host Thanksgiving, so.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I love my family. Yeah. No, it's okay. I rather do Thanksgiving.
How does Ashley feel about this, though?
So
hosting.
I think she's okay. Yeah. So we invite her family and my side of the family. So there's a lot of people. I think there's 16 or 18 adults and then a lot of children.
Okay.
It's okay though. I really enjoy smoking a turkey. And the crazy part is I should probably say this, and probably every man out there is going to understand exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, dear Lord.
I enjoy the preparation of the turkey, the 10 o'clock outside by myself by the smoker, the 5 a.m. coffee next to the smoker, taking a Snapchat, opening the lid, like I made that. And then as soon as it's in the house, I'm ready for bed. And then people start coming to my house. So I sit in the corner in the lazy boy, and just like try to stay awake. And then that's my excuse is I was up all night with the turkey.
Meanwhile, your wife is running around taking care of the kids and making sure all the guests are taken care of and everything else is all ready.
But you can't have Thanksgiving without a turkey. So that's my thing that I enjoy doing.
Okay.
And every year I change it a little bit. So we'll see what. One thing I will.
What does that mean? You change it a little bit. You're changing. What are you doing to the
different brines, different injections. Yeah. So
it's like
I cannot give away trade secrets over a podcast. But
Okay.
I've been trying a few different things,
Yeah.
And one thing I will say though is pre-kids was a lot easier to do that kind of stuff. Now it's a lot of like you're just trying to get it done. But yeah, it's fun. We're gonna have everybody over. Usually it's 20 degrees outside, and somehow it ends up 120 degrees in my house. So
Yes.
we're opening windows and we're doing all that fun stuff. And then I think that there's some parades and stuff that weekend that we'll probably go to. And it is fun to see that the kids are getting older, so they understand it. And
Holidays with littles is always super fun.
Yeah.
I mean, watching the littles, their faces and their reactions to all the different crazy stuff that's going on, right? Where you got 27 cousins all playing and who's pounding on who first.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean,
yeah. So I don't know. I think that's all I had for today. Do you got anything else?
No.
I think it's a good time to spend with family, and we hope everybody gets to do that over Thanksgiving. And as always, we're very thankful for all of our customers out there that we get to work with and make our job entertaining and exciting and worthwhile doing. We
I agree.
really appreciate the relationships that we've formed. And we appreciate you guys listening. Thankful that you guys are listening to the Above the Bar podcast. So
yeah, keeps us in business, right?
keeps us in business. Yeah, we're making bucos off of this podcast. Yeah, thanks, Jackie.
Thank you.
And we'll be back again soon.
See ya.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Above the Mark.
Be sure to follow us on Apple and Spotify along with YouTube, and we'll see you next time.